So the top federal law enforcement position in Northern Illinois tonight is on the verge of being vacant no longer. NBC 5 News has learned that a nominee to be the permanent U.S. attorney here will soon be announced, 2 years after the city last had one. Investigative reporter Chuck Gowdy joining us now with new details on this. Chuck.
Steph and I have several justice sources telling me tonight that Andrew Boutros has been tapped to become Chicago's next United States attorney. While it hasn't been publicly announced, and especially these days in Washington when things are subject to change without notice, Boutros's name is said to have been sent to the White House by Peoria Republican Congressman Darren LaHood, who was in charge of the search.
The law has always been complicated and complex. But the world in which we live in, I think, has gotten more complicated with the passage of time and with technology.
Andrew Boutros on a video for his former law firm where he was regional chair of white-collar criminal defense. He is now with the law firm of Shook, Hardy & Bacon with offices in Chicago and Washington, D.C., where he also handles government investigations. Legal sources tell NBC Chicago that Boutros will soon be named by the Justice Department here in Washington to become interim U.S. attorney in the Northern District of Illinois and nominee for the permanent top federal prosecutor's job here.
This afternoon, the federal jury returned guilty verdicts.
Chicago has been without a permanent United States attorney since March of 2023, when John Lausch left the position.
I believe that no one accomplishes anything important alone.
Former President Biden's nominee for the Chicago job was stalled in the Senate among dozens of confirmations blocked by then Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, now the vice president. Once formally nominated by President Trump and if confirmed by the Senate, Boutros will oversee an office of more than 150 prosecutors here in Chicago and Rockford. Boutros worked as an assistant U.S. attorney here for 8 years, beginning in 2007, prosecuting the world's largest online drug trafficker on the dark web in a prominent case known as Silk Road.
This was a crime that impacted everyday people.
Boutros's prosecution work in what was described as the largest food fraud in U.S. history landed him a starring role in this documentary that also received an Emmy nomination. Legal sources tonight are telling me that Boutros wasn't on the original list of 3 names that Congressman LaHood sent to the White House. Apparently, President Trump rejecting those 3 in favor of Andrew Boutros. No comment tonight from Boutros, no reply from Congressman LaHood's office or the ranking member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, Dick Durbin.
We've had a lot of interim people holding this position. It's been a while since you had a permanent acting U.S. attorney in the Northern District.
Right. It's been 2 years, and there are people who believe that that is a substantial problem, because when you have somebody in there permanently at the job, they carry more clout in Washington, D.C. They're more focused on the long-range planning. Not that the interim guy hasn't done a good job in there for the last couple of years, but a permanent person is certainly more beneficial.
Some big convictions in the last couple months recently.
That is very true.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Chuck Gowdy, good to see you. Appreciate it.